Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I'm Gina, and today's video we are going to make a Loom Knit Scrubby. This makes a great gift. It's quick to whip up. It's one of my favorites. I strongly encourage it, and today's theme is Christmas. Let's not waste any more time and let's get started. So we're going to start with our white yarn, and this is 100% cotton, and then we have our red yarn. This is definitely a different texture than the white yarn. This yarn is made of like acrylic, I believe, but I will double check on that. But it's just like little eyelashes on the string, but it does make for a fancy scrubby, and it helps get the things off of the dishes and such. So you'll need a pair of scissors, a loom. I'm using the 24 peg, also a loom hook. What I have here, a darning needle, and a loom counter. So we're going to take the two strands of yarn together, and as you can see I have them right here. So we're going to use both strands on the loom. So what we want to do is take those two strands and we're going to make a slip knot. So slip knot, we just wrap it around our finger just like that, and then we're going to pull it through the loop. So just pull those two strands through a loop, and we're going to keep the loop open just like such. And then we're going to take that loop and we're going to take it and place it on the loom. So I always attach it more times than not to the outside when I am making a scrubby. It's easier doing it that way. So you want to just attach it on the outside of the loom just like that. And you don't have to tighten it too much right here, but just tighten it just so much where when you're working it's not going to come off. So we're going to do the drawstring cast on. So we're going to go behind the first peg, skip the next peg, go in front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind. And we're just going to continue doing this where one of the pegs, the yarn will be in front and the other you'll go in back. So depending on what you personally call the front of the peg, I'm just working my way around the loom, weaving this in from front to back. So you want to go behind like that. Now we're going to start our cast on. So we are going to start with this peg, and make sure you have everything together and nothing's, caught on the loom. So we're going to place that yarn in front of the loom here, and we're going to take the bottom stitch and place it over the top. So again, take the bottom stitch and place it over the top. And it can be a little tight. Try not to hold the working yarn too tight. And the working yarn is what I have here. The yarn, yep, right here. This is the working yarn is what it's called. Try not to hold that too tight. Otherwise, it'll make your yarning over a little bit too tight, and we don't want it too tight to where it's going to fall off the loom. If it does fall off the loom, it's not a big deal. It's easy to fix at this point of the game, but it's a good idea not to pull it too tight. So just work your way around the loom, and those pegs that have two, we're just going to knit over. So again, the pegs that have two strands of yarn, we're going to take the bottom and place it over the top. So, and you can do a few of these at a time. You don't have to do it across the entire loom. Just place it and do the best you can. So here, it works just a little at a time, and that's totally fine. Again, you don't want to do too many. And just keep going around the loom, taking that bottom strand and knitting it over the top. So again, we're just working our way around the loom, and this is called a drawstring cast on. Continue doing this until you get back to the anchor peg where you started from, and I will see you there. Okay, so we are done with our cast on. We're going to go behind that first peg, and we're going to start by doing row 1, we're going to do E-wraps. So we're doing the E-wrap stitch all the way around the loom. The E-wrap stitch is a great stitch for beginners. I love it. It works up so quick. It's not a real tight stitch, which makes it really nice. So what we're doing is we're just taking each peg and wrapping it around the individual loom pegs. So just make a circle around, and we're making an E, so that's why it's called the E-wrap, and you do this on each peg. So once we're done, we go ahead and wrap it around, and then we're going to take our yarn tool and take the bottom and place it over the top. So again, take the bottom stitch and place it over the top. Do this the entire way around the loom. Just work your way around the loom. You don't have to rush, just take your time. Make sure you get both strands, because remember, it's 2 strands together for the stitch. This makes, like I said, the perfect gift. It's so easy. You can make a ton of these, especially if you get the yarn on sale. It just makes for a great little gift. Teachers, I mean, who doesn't love a scrubby, right? Who doesn't love a good scrubby? Also, this is a handmade gift, and so many people love handmade gifts, especially teachers, and I mean, really anyone. But your son or daughter could do this very simple, very easily. Okay, now we're going to start. We're going to do row 2. So go ahead and continue doing the E-wrap all the way around the loom, and then you'll knit over just like we just did, and you're actually going to do this 15 times. So this is going to be 15. Now if you make 15 and you find that, oh, this scrubby, it could be a little big, or it might be a little big, little small, the nice thing about this is you can adjust it. So you can make a bigger one if you want to, or if that's too big, you can adjust it and make a smaller scrubby. So it's nice because you can customize it however you want to do it. Now, at some point, you're going to realize that anchor peg is going to need released. So when you feel the tension and the tightness on that anchor peg, and you'll just want to undo it, take it and shove it in the middle, or don't shove it, but you know what I mean. Place it in the middle of the loom. It will not be in your way. See, I'm grabbing it out and it won't be in your way. Just continue business as usual, doing the E-wrap stitch for 15 rows, and it just works up so nice and fast. I am on my last row, row 15, so I am going to do my last row of E-wrap, and then I'm going to show you how to bind off of the loom. So again, this is row 15, and we're going to bind off of the loom. So continue around till you get to the end, and then I will show you what to do next. Now we're going to start binding off. So we're going to take that working yarn, make sure we got a nice hold of it, and we're going to wrap the working yarn around the loom 1.5 times to 2. Make sure you give yourself enough room. So you want to have plenty of yarn for this process. So don't short yourself. So even if you go a little bit over, that's fine too. So we're going to take that working yarn and place it below the stitch on the peg and pull it completely up. So again, we're going to take that working yarn, place it below the stitch on the peg, grab it up, scoop it up. So below, take our tool, put it through, take the working yarn and pull it out. So as you can see, you just do that for each one of the pegs. So we're just scooping it, taking it, and pulling it out. You'll want to do this the entire way around the loom. We're getting to the end of the loom, so we've done the entire way around and we are done with that part. Now we're going to start the next part of our binding off, and it's super simple. We're just going to pop these stitches off the loom. Gently take each stitch off of the loom, going around the circle. Okay, we are almost done here. Coming to the last, we have it completely off the loom, and now we just take it and sit it down. We're going to take each of these strings right here, one on top, one on bottom, and it makes it really easy to close these holes up. So I just want to take it and just gently pull on the yarn. Just gently pull, don't pull too hard, just because you want to make sure the hole closes up evenly. Now, sometimes it'll leave a little tiny hole, and if it does, it's no problem. But usually the goal is to close the hole up. But if you've never done this and there's a tiny hole, don't be alarmed. It's not the end of the world, and it still works the same, and it looks nice. So just don't worry, just pull as best as you can and close that hole up, and then I will show you what to do next. So you just want to tap it down and kind of make it into a scrunchy shape, and that's real simple to do, and they're very forgiving on how they lay, so don't even worry, just do the best that you can. Now we're going to take our darning needle and we're going to take these pieces of yarn and we're going to weave them in. Now usually I like to cut, just a little bit, make it a little bit less yarn than this, just to make it a little easier on myself when weaving it in. It can be, difficult if you have a huge piece of yarn that you're working with. So just make it a little bit smaller, and then we're going to use our darning needle and we're just going to work our way around just to weave in the ends. I'm sure you've heard, if you're new, you'll hear the term weave in your ends, and that just means you weave in the yarn that's left after you're done with your project. So the goal is just to weave it in to where it's not noticeable, and then you want to make a knot to tie it off. So once you find your groove and how to weave it in, there's no right or wrong way. Each scrubby is going to look a little different, so I can't exactly tell you to weave in exactly on this strand of yarn or that strand of yarn. Just do the best you can in the way of getting it in there and being able to tie a knot, because you don't want to have the scrubby come apart. Once you find that special area, you'll just want to put it through and then give it a cut, and you won't see it. It'll be hidden. Now you want to do the same for the other side. So again, just make sure that yarn is workable, at a workable length. Make sure it's even, and take your darning needle once you've cut it to where you need it. And then you're just going to work it in the same way as you worked in the other stitch. Again, I can't tell you exactly what area to put this in, because each scrubby is different, and you'll just want to do it the best you can. Just weave it in and out, and then you make, that knot I was telling you about and showed you, and then give it a cut. So you do the same thing on this side. All right, so again, just shape it with your hands. You can make it into the scrubby shape. It's easy to maneuver. It's so awesome. Makes a great gift. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any questions. Let me know who you're going to make your scrubby for in the comments below. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.